Anna. So, on the behalf of Abaya SS Club, would like to invite
Yes.
Jagjyot. Okay. Jagjyot, who's a recent Spring 2024 graduate, and during her time at Centennial, Jagjyot gained experience, hands-on experience during a co-op at the capsule factory. Um, she also currently works at Capsule Factory and she works currently in quality insurance. Not only, in addition to her academic and industrial achievements, Jagjyot also served as the president of the Biotechnology Student Society, where she showed exceptional leadership and a passion for helping students grow. Today, she'll share her journey, the challenges, the lessons, and the tips that helped her move from being a student to a professional in the biotech field. After a talk, we'll open the floor for a Q&A, so feel free to bring questions. So please join me to welcome Jack George. Thank you.
Thank
Hello,
you, guys.
everyone.
Thank you, Aarti. It's nice to see you.
There, long time no see.
I know. First of all, I want to say that this is a very good chance to for students to put on their camera. Things like this, things like interviews or networking nights. This is where you show your face. A lot of you will be reaching out to alumni that you're attending their interviews for, right? So I think this is a good time you turn on your camera, you show your face because that comes to your advantage. So, I mean, you could be in different places for sure, but just letting you know, maybe in the next interview, you want to be out there showing your face and like, asking questions that makes you stand out. Yeah, so let's start.
So first question, please tell us about your journey from the start to the program to where you are now.
Let's go a little back from when I started the program. I got my bachelor's in microbiology and biochemistry from India. And then briefly, I was working as a research assistant. While working as a research assistant, I was looking for a more structured work life. Because when you're working in research, you're like working like 24/7, your brain's like on 24/7. So I wanted to, after I got a little bit of research experience, I wanted to get into industry, but I wasn't able to get in when I was back home. It was difficult to get into the industry. So when I started looking for programs outside India, I saw that this program in Canada and Centennial College gave the opportunity for co-op. And that was my catch on why I started applying for the program. And from the very start, I was very clear that I wanted to get into the program. So I did my research. I knew that you have to have Com 77 for a co-op, and you have to have your grades straight. So I was working from the day one, and then the second I got into the co-op program, then the second we were applying for jobs and we were giving interviews. I got into the co-op because of my networking while I was being active in the BioS society, the club. So because during that time I was interviewing a lot of people and I had my network, then people saw me working. Through that, I got the opportunity to work or, reach out to this one employer who became my co-op employer. I worked there for 4 months. It was a regular QA job. What I did there was regular checks on the line. Okay. And when you start a co-op job, especially when you don't have experience back from home or any experience as working as a QA, you're clueless. I was clueless. One day before I started my co-op, I was like, I don't even know what I'm expected to do, right? But good it was a great opportunity for me to understand what a manufacturing facility looks like, what a QA team looks like, what their responsibilities are. I had no clue before I started, and that's fine. That's how it's going to be for all of you guys, right? When my co-op employer was interviewing me, one thing that she said, which stood out to her about me, was that I was a go-getter. While I was trying to get a lot of interviews for my co-op position, I did not make into a lot of them. Obviously, you learn from your experiences. During that time, I was in conversation with the co-op employer, and for some reason, our schedules won't match. Sometimes she would have a meeting, sometimes I would have an exam or like a class. But even if things were not working out after every unsuccessful scheduling of a meeting, I would be like, that's okay, we can do it later. And I would reach out the other weekend or a day when I knew I had time to do an interview. And she said that uh, ability of yours to, not give up and try again and again till you got that interview, she was like, that really stood out to me. Second, I agreed to move out of GT. A lot of students, I knew a lot of my colleagues who were, or my classmates who were applying for co-op, they're very hesitant to move out of GTA. And that is one reason maybe miss on opportunities. I understand moving out of GTA is very difficult, but it's you can get to experience a new place, which was lovely for me. I love where I am right now. I love live near London right now in Woodstock, and I love the change. I love moving out of GTA. If you don't love that, that's fine. Take that opportunity, get that experience, and if you want to go back to GTA, that's fine. But to kickstart your experience, do not limit your opportunities just because you don't want to move out or you don't want to pop that comfort bubble, right? Yes, so co-op happened. I had a good, lovely 4 months, got a lot of experience during that time because you don't study that time, right? You're just working, you're only doing your co-op, only fulfilling your co-op position. I took that opportunity to also get a HACCP certificate. And then I came back, did my 2 semesters. I did not do my second, I could not actually secure a second co-op, which worked actually fine with me because we were the last batch who did not have to give IELTS to get the work permit. So it worked out for me either ways. And before I graduated in August, I was rehired basically for the same position. I worked 4 months on the floor. So I was working on the floor on the production lines where you do checks every 45 minutes and other um, audits. But then after 4 months, I was moved from floor to a front office position where I work with labs and clients now. So I've had a change of experience. I've had experience in working with different departments. So yeah, that has been my journey till now.
Hey, do you feel like there's a difference between working on the floor and working in the front line? Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's the difference?
So under QA, we have 3 departments. First department is they work on the floor. There are 4 production lines. Okay, they are making products. So the QA on the floor is responsible to go every 45 minutes, do checks on the line if they're making the product the way the client wants it, or the way the product is supposed to be made, right? So every product, and to give you an idea, every product has a master manufacturing record. It tells you what it has to be tested for. It tells you what components go into it, what ingredients go into it. So a QA is responsible to make sure that the production is following all of that. Okay, so that is in a very niche way to tell how what a QA on the floor does. There are other responsibilities as well, but let's stick to that. Then there's a QA at receiving. So our products, they are made up of multiple ingredients. That means we blend a lot of raw materials in it. So obviously, where are we getting them? We're not making them ourselves, we are sourcing them, right? So the QA at receiving, what the responsibility of them is that they will get any take samples of any raw material that we have. They will see if it has a certificate of analysis. They will see if it complies with the requirement of the raw material. Sometimes a particular supplier is supposed to test it for let's say magnesium, but we're gonna we're gonna receive the product and with raw material, and we're gonna say, okay, the assay is not being done, we cannot accept it. So unless and until QA accepts that raw material that has come inside the facility, they cannot use it to make a product. Okay, so that is the responsibility of a QA. Anything that's damaged, okay, you receive a product and it's damaged, unless and until the QA says it's good to go, or the QA does not remove a hold from a particular raw material, unless they say it's safe to use, the production cannot use it. So that's basically QA monitoring what's coming inside the facility to be used for the production of the finished product. Then there's me. What I do is basically I'm the lab QA, but I do not do any testing. We send all our samples to third party labs. But my part of the job is to collect to have the samples that we have from the production lines. We have to send them for micro testing. We send them for chemical testing, right? So my part of the job is to send these samples to the respective labs. Now, once we have sent the samples to the respective labs, then my responsibility is when the results come in, I have to browse the COAs. I have to see if all the testings were done. I have to see if they are within specifications. And then it is my responsibility to make sure all the documentation is together. If good documentation practices were followed, if the documentation is according to the GDoc-P, which is good documentation practices. And then once everything is in place, I have the results. I have my, which we call it BPR, which is the batch production record. Once all of that is in there, the product is good to release, and only I can do that. If the QA does not release the product, they cannot ship it out, or they cannot sell it into the market. So it has to have a go from the QA. So that is what I do. We also have other responsibilities like SOP reviews. We do annual environmental audits. We also, when we are on the floor, when a certain production line is going to make different products, like it's going to run product A, and then once that product is made, we're going to run product B. Now, being a QA, another responsibility is you take care of sanitation. You take care of things like cross-contamination, allergens. For example, product A has gluten in it, but product B claims to be gluten-free. So what are we going to do? How are we going to make sure that at that point there is no cross-contamination between the two products? So what a QA on production line does, once they are done with cleaning and clearing the line, we go and we do swabs. Now you guys might have learned about ATP illuminator, ATP swab. It's for the microbial load. And then if there's an allergen, then you swab it for basically soy is allergen, milk allergen. We also have peanut allergens. Okay, so swabs basically. So you swab it up, and this ELISA test that you have, very small kits. It's very easy to do. Just swab it, and there's a solution. You shake it, and then you put your ELISA, the kit in it, and then you know how it works with the capillary action, and then you see if there are like the three lines, the two lines, depending on if it's positive or negative. And then you pass it. Once you pass it, only then they can run the second product. If it does not pass, if you see it's positive for soy, and it's not supposed to be positive, because the next product is soy free, or you do a gluten swab and it comes positive for gluten, then they cannot run a line. You cannot give them a go. Every sign that a QA does will is very important basically. If you sign it, that means you have passed it. And then the QA is responsible if it comes positive for gluten, right? So it's a very a big responsibility, I would say. You are responsible for an entire product of they're gonna make like 10,000 units, and if you did not do your job, the company is going to be in loss because you did not do that check properly. Another problems that sometimes have they have lot codes on back of the products. You know how you guys read expiry date and lot. Sometimes if a QA did not do their check properly and they did not catch that the lot number was printed wrong, 10,000 units could be made with a wrong lot code. So a job of a QA is very and you have to pay attention basically. You should have that attention to details. So these things that you put on your resume, attention to detail and critical thinking, they actually come into use.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a lot of
Yeah.
work and just a lot of stuff just being dedicated to.
Responsibility.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wait, sorry, I didn't ask. What type of samples do you work with?
Um, What we make at Capsule Factory is we have powders.
Mhm,
We make products like creatine, collagen. We basically pack them because creatine, collagen are single raw materials. We
mhm.
pack them, but there are other products that have like different ingredients in them that we can make capsules out of it. We have powders. We have pouches. Basically, at the end, there are just two types, powder and capsule. We just pack them in different. We either bottle them, we then bag them, or we pouch them. But yes, these two are like the basic product types that we have, a capsule and a powder. So nothing like no wet product that we make
Mm.
basically. Yeah.
You had mentioned that you got the position through networking and stuff. I wanted
Mhm.
to ask, how did you network or stay connected with like industry professionals while studying?
So when I was up, I was in my second semester, basically the semester where you have your co-op employment preparation course, and then the next semester you go into
You got,
co-op, right? So during that semester, I was the president. And we
oh,
started this series called Alumni Alumni Spotlight Interview series. So initially, I would, as being the president, I would interview, and then we passed on it to other students. But during that time when I interviewed, like good, I would say, I want to say 9 to 10 alumni, I would talk to them off camera before and after the interview because we knew we had to make like a 1 hour interview. But naturally, when you stop the recording, conversations do click in even after that. So I used to network like that. I actually made really good connections via those interviews. Second, we also used to lead industrial tours. So even during that time, you stand up, when you go there as a president or you go there as somebody who's leading the tour, you do stand out from the crowd because they know, this person is leading you. They're gonna remember you. So I had the advantage of that because, we were either leading the tours or we were the president. So I did stand out, I would say, and that's how I people knew it was me, and we would then reach out to them on LinkedIn. One thing that I would always want to tell students is that one thing I sometimes used to miss. I would go meet somebody, and then I would come back home and not message them on LinkedIn. I've done that, but I think that's a really big mistake. They are not going to remember you after that one day. Go. So if you meet somebody, I remember I met this person at CCR, I think it was CCRM, and I was so influenced by this guy. And when I came back home, I got busy with something and I forgot to message him. And then when 1 year later, when I wanted to reach out to him, I was so hesitant because I knew I remembered him, but I don't know if he remembers me. So do one thing. If you go on industrial tour, or even if right now you're into a meeting and interviewing somebody, or you are in an interview just like this, go and tell them, I was in the interview, I saw you talking, I learned this something, so that they remember you. And then when after 1 year or once you graduate, you have to reach out to them. It's not going to be awkward. You've already hit that conversation. You've already passed that awkwardness. You just have to like be like, oh hi, I'm reaching out to you again. Or it could be anything. You want a mentor, you want to show them your resume, or you will just talk about how the job market is, or if they have any position, and it could be anything. But hit that conversation. I did not do it for the first time during my CCRM visit, but then after, whenever I met somebody, even if it was via when I was interviewing them, or during an industrial tour, or even when we had the alumni networking night, I would go back and message each one of them and with a personal note so that they know that it's not like a copy pasted to every other alumni. I would have like personalized messages for each one of them basically. So yeah, do that. Please do that. This is the best you will ever have, like in the sense of networking. Once you start working, you have a very close circle. Like I see that I have a very close circle. But when I was in the club, I feel like I had more reach. And I know that club is always doing their best to bring in people, and I think students should take advantage of it. This is this is the best we can have right now.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
I even met Jagjyot during the social networking as well in our college, and I remember her. I was her senior, and even the bias club just started when I was about to graduate in my final semester, and the situations were like that. I didn't get a chance to get enrolled in too much because that was a new for me, and I was also an international student. And
Mhm.
some circumstances were like that. I have to move from there to Windsor, and over here, I thought that I would catch some opportunities because there are pharmaceutical companies like Catalent and Johnson's, and there are so many like small farmers as well. I have been trying to reach out to them to build a networking, but it's really hard. I have tried all of my ways, and even I tried to contact to Professor Yon. Like maybe around like 2 or 3 months ago, I told her send an email that Professor, nothing is working out for me. What should I do?
Exactly. That's how it is. Once you go out of college, your circle's gonna go
It's not.
it's
Yeah.
very limited. Yeah.
Like, should I go back and take one semester at least so that I get that?
I do miss college too, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and be part
Uh,
of US again.
yeah. I have one question. I do have like experience in India back home. We are from the same country, so I know the experience over there. But since moving to over here and circumstances were like that I couldn't get a chance still until like after graduating to work in like an industrial like company or something which is related to my background.
Mm-hmm.
So is that like whatever we have studied in our college or in laboratory we learned like on get on like with the instrument and techniques and other stuff, apart from that, what do you say that whatever we learned during our study is used in our like working experience in those like industries or in such environment
I would say that, yeah.
experience?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you the last part. I couldn't hear.
Oh, I'm just like whatever we studied, how
Mhm.
much is related, like utilized in the like when you go into the like industrial field, like go over there and do your work. Is it just like totally different that you don't like experience about that? You know, we do have like journal knowledge, how to operate an instrument
I
or
got you.
have
I
like
got
techniques and other stuff, but is it
you.
like related to what we actually studied, and or the environment is totally different, like you go and train over there like from scratch?
You are always going to get trained. Every company has their way of working. They have their own structure in place. You will have to get trained anyways. But your question is if what we learn is what we do.
Yeah.
Depends on what you're doing. Now, if you are a QA in a lab, then you're going to be doing so much of what you have done in the lab, TPC, and then all those microbial, um, I will say experiments, and then even the one that we did in chemistry. If you are in a chemist lab, then you will be doing that. But for me, nothing applies directly. Now,
Mhm.
I am for example, there's a new product that's gonna be made, and my superiors tell me that can you reach out to lab and ask them if they do this certain test,
Mhm.
and if what method they provide and what method we want. Okay, and then I'm gonna reach out to the lab, and my understanding of how certain experiments that we learned or how certain methods were done, that helps me to understand what the lab is offering and what we want for our product and how we want it to be tested. Right? I browse through so many COS the entire day, and my understanding of what SRS is, what E. coli is, what TPC is, right? What Eastern mold is, how it is done, or what HHPLC is, what HPLC UV is. My understanding of how these methods are done, or how these tests are done, helps me in understanding the COAs or the methods or the results,
Mhm.
right? But nothing directly. I am not doing the test, so does not apply. Again, the one thing that directly applies to what you have studied, and if you're working in a QA position, is a HACCP, part of the part of the syllabus that actually counts.
Mhm.
Um, Food safety, food pathogens, allergens, cross-contamination. So many. I remember this one interview I had. I think it was Wonder Breads, but I'm not pretty sure. I was so prepared for that interview. I had prepared my introduction and situational questions, but I forgot to revise my basics. I did not go back and did not read my HACCP and everything. They asked me about my name and what semester I am, and they bombarded me with questions like what is food safety, food pathogen, HACCP, what does it stand for? And I was not prepared for it. I did beat around the bushes, but I did not hit the bull's eye, right? So I did not get into that. I did not get that position, obviously. But yes, they require you to understand what HACCP is. They will ask you questions like this. So if nothing, if you don't, if you're somebody who's very passionate about working in the lab, maybe you want to apply for QA lab, and that's where directly your knowledge would apply. I know Yvonne has worked in a lab, if I'm not wrong, and she would be able to tell you how if it directly applies to what you're studying. But for my position where I'm not doing the experiment, for me the understanding helps basically.
Correct. One more thing, like if I gave my own example, like I still didn't get chance to like work into something that is related to my background. So what would you recommend me or suggest me to, from where should I start?
Where should I?
Like actually, the thing was that you know how things work with us. Okay. So I didn't get a chance to get into co-op. I applied once, but I couldn't. So the next thing that I had to is to just get it done my studies, and immediately the rules were changing, so I had to apply for my work permit. So as I have like only 1 year left, but I still am looking somewhere I can, step on and get into somewhere, so I can definitely build my future in over here. So what will you recommend me to, go for that?
I hear you, but I've had friends who did not get. I got rehired just before I was about to graduate, so I was lucky like that. But I've seen my friends who have waited for good 6, 7 months, and they have constantly applied for jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it has worked out. I don't have like anything, a shortcut for you to tell. Maybe the best I could say is, and you're doing a really good job by being present in meetings like that because alumni hesitate to come back and join meeting that the club is organizing, thinking, oh, we graduated, I don't know if I can be here. You're doing a great job. Keep doing that. You never know. You have your cameras on. You're networking at your best. And this is how it's going to be. Maybe somebody who comes in after me or before me, if you have attended a meeting, reach out to them, keep talking to them. Um, if we do organize alumni networking night, come there.
Okay.
I know you're living in Windsor. That's okay. Come, we'll figure out where to stay. That's fine. You know me, right? So I'm sure you might have friends who live in Toronto. I'm sure that's not going to be a problem. So don't hesitate.
Mm-hmm.
Just come. If you see a networking event, pop up.
Yeah, sure.
Because that's your best bet, right?
Yeah.
Thousands of people are gonna reach out to one person who on LinkedIn, right? But I don't know how they pick who to talk
Mm-hmm.
to, right? I don't know if we can stand out in that population, but we can stand out in a networking night like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we have had two, and I'm sure we'll have it again, right, Yvonne? Yeah, so I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I got your point. Like building a networking, and I think presence in physical form is more important than like this. And definitely these things work. Now it's been a long time I have like connected to you personally. So
Yeah.
I think definitely we can catch up from there later.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Any other question? Oh,
Hi, Jagjyot. This is Tushal
hi.
here.
Hi, Tushar.
Yeah, like I have completed my master's in analytical chemistry, having 3 years of work experience in food lab. Then
Mm,
in Canada, like I have completed my first year in regulatory affairs, and this is my second year in Centennial as biotechnology.
mm-hmm.
So like I have not taken fast track course, so this course doesn't include co-op in my this. So like I was worried like how can I apply for jobs like without co-op, would I be able to land in a good job?
Yeah, definitely. People without co-op have landed in jobs. Don't worry about that. That's not gonna hold you back. It just, yeah, gives you a Canadian experience, yeah, for sure. But you have worked 3, 4 years. That's gonna work out for you. I
Yeah.
did not have experience back home. So yeah, we are on the same level. Don't worry. You have experience back home, and that's gonna help you. I just started from scratch here. So don't be nervous that that's gonna hold you back. But yes. The way you put that on your resume matters. Use resources like employment advisor who can help you build your resume. Use those resources that the college provides. The way you put things on your resume matters.
So like it is tough to get in QC. Like I have experience for QC and I've already studied regulatory affairs. So like I have bit knowledge for QA as well. So like
Mhm.
it is tough to get into these jobs, or like does they require references, or like on they treat to each and everyone?
If you have references, why not? If you
Yeah, like
can find references, why not?
okay. So like are they preferred on early basis? Like the references are given preference, or how does it works?
I don't know that if they're given preference, and I'm not the hiring manager, but yes, references do work. It is your best bet if you have somebody. Why not to use it? If you don't, then you have the simple path: keep on applying for jobs, right? And keep track of it, of where you're applying. So when I was in co-op, our co-op advisor made us make a Excel sheet where we would write the name of the employer. If we have submitted the cover letter, if we have submitted the resume, if we have heard back from them, we kept, and we used to apply 30 jobs every week, 30 jobs outside
Yeah,
of the co-op portal. So we have a co-op
yeah,
portal
yeah.
when an employer comes, and we used to apply even outside the co-op portal. So applying jobs is very intense. It's gonna take a lot of your, energy. It takes a lot of your time. So make sure you sit, and maybe you want to read through one job application at the end of the night, and then start altering your resume.
Okay.
Right, take it slow. If you can't sit the entire day and apply for jobs, don't do that. Maybe at the end of the day, sit with a job application that seems like, okay, this is something I want to do, and let me see if I can alter my resume according to that uh, job position. If you think you cannot figure it out, go to an employer, the employment advisor. They help you with interviews. They help you with resume building. They help you with cover letters. You have so much resources, it's just that students don't know how to use it, and don't delay because they are not available all the time. So make sure that you book them in advance, and then you do your work before you go to them. Make sure you have your resume in place, cover letter, something, a draft that they can work on. Just don't go with the blank page or make my resume for me. That's not going to work out, right?
Yeah, got it.
You seem to have a good experience. You said you have experience in regulatory, and you've
And
worked in a
quality
food
control, junior analyst,
quality
yeah.
control back home.
Back in India, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna work out for you, don't worry. It's just how you put it on your resume. And
Um,
Okay.
yeah,
sorry.
initiate conversations anywhere and everywhere. If you sometimes you were saying something? Sorry.
I was gonna say, I'm so sorry. The Zoom call ends in 1 minute.
S- So how do
Okay,
we
so
I put
Um,
a new link in the chat. We can all switch over there and it'll restart with another 40 minutes for us.
got it, got it.
maybe move now.